Hey guys, all right, so here's a quick update and a little bit of information that I've come across, or I guess learned, doing the engine updates on my 96 Ram 2500. It's got the 12 valve Cummins diesel in it, and I've done some updates. We put a turbo and some injectors, and you can't see it now, but I actually upgraded the cam. I put a Colt Cam Stage 3 cam in it. I'm not 100% sure if that was the right decision, but we'll find out soon enough. But anyway, I'm doing the ARP head studs upgrade, and I've run into a little bit of a situation that may need clarification. I've been chatting with the guys down at the diesel shop where I bought the parts, and they are not able to give me 100% solid answers. So I've just done a little investigating, and I wanted to share with you what I've found. So if you are doing this upgrade yourself with this particular ARP bolt kit and run into this problem, it doesn't get you stuck for a week as it has me. Okay, here we go. What I found is with this kit, this is the no machining kit. So on some of the kits, they require you to take these rocker arm pedestals and have a chunk of machine work taken out from the top here to bring this down so that these nuts and washers can sit lower underneath the valve covers. They say you need to grind out the tops of the valve covers. See that webbing up there? You have to grind out a little of that webbing on the side. That's no big deal, but for some people, machining these pedestals is a big machine. It's a big job to do. So this kit says you don't need to do that. I'll put the part number of the kit across the bottom of the screen so you know which kit I'm talking about. But I ran into another problem. So what they do is they have you take a tap and finish tapping all of these holes down at the bottom, and it felt like it tapped about 1/8 of an inch, maybe to 3/16, something like that. Not a very whole hell of a lot. And then what I did was I cleaned out the holes, vacuumed them out, magnet them out, greased them when I tapped them, so I got all the bits and pieces out. Then you thread down inside the shorter two. These are the medium length ones. These are the shortest studs. And you thread them all the way down. And the instructions tell you to turn them in till they bottom and then about a quarter turn. So just snug. You don't want to torque them into these holes. You can see there's an Allen key head in the top of it, so you can turn it with a tool. Now these are all turned down snug. And as you can see, the nuts on those ones there, the stud protrudes, so it's great engagement on the nuts, and these are poking out long enough so that when I put the nuts on these ones, the stud pokes out, and there's lots of engagement down in the block and with the nut. Now I ran into a problem with the last ones, the longest ones on the pedestal, where I thread them all the way down. So this one's threaded all the way down to the bottom, and you can see there's not a whole lot of thread protruding for the nut to grab onto. So I'm just going to show you. There's the nut and the washer, and if I thread said nut and washer onto stud, which is, according to the instructions, threaded all the way down till it stops and then snugged, not tightened, not torqued, you can see that there's not enough stud sticking out of the top to clear the entire nut, and that's no good. Obviously that's not going to work because it's not properly threaded on, right? So I contacted the diesel shop, and they told me against the instructions what I'm supposed to do is thread this stud all the way down to the bottom and then turn it out about 3/4 of a turn, so it's not touching the bottom. So about there. Now guys, 3/4 of a turn is not going to be enough to engage this nut completely. It's a little better. We're halfway through now, through that washer. Remember, there's a washer underneath and a nut. So you may think right now, oh no, this kit's not going to work. I'm going to have to get these machined regardless to bring that nut a little bit further down. Well, this is where I got caught, guys. I'm going to jump to the next part of this video in a second, and I've drawn up and measured the depth of these holes and threads, and I'm going to show you what I've come up with. And basically, to skip to the end of the video right now, what I've gone and done, you can see the rest of these, how they're flush, is I've backed that stud out of the hole down in the block until it's flush with the top of this nut. So it's not bottomed out. It's hovering about a 1/4 inch, I would say, from the bottom of the block. But I will show you a picture in a second which explains why I decided that I was going to go this route with my truck. One sec. All right, so here we are in the shop with some light. Here's the instructions for the kit. This is a Hazley part number right there, and this is an ARP 247-4203B. The B indicates that this is the kit that requires no machining. If you don't have the B, then you've got the kit that requires the machining. So anyway, in here it states that they want you to coat the threads with oil, install the studs in block, snug. Do not torque studs in block. Then place the flat washers on top, lube the washer and the nut, and torque 50, 100, and 125. Now I messaged the diesel shop where I bought these from, and they told me to thread the studs all the way into the block till they bottom, and then turn them out 3/4 of a turn. I already told you this, so I don't want to repeat myself. So that was that. Now, anyway, back to the depth of engagement. So here we've got a stock stud, and here we've got the ARP stud, and you can see at the top I've got that nut flush with the top of the stud. Now the entire overall length of the bore that runs down into the block, I measured, I think it was about 8 3/4 inches, 8.5, whatever it was. I wrote it down. 8 inches right there. The threads start at the 6 3/4 mark, and they go down to the bottom, which is right there. So you can see that the stock stud only barely engaged the first, third, 3/8, whatever amount of these threads. And the ARP engages basically from the 6 3/4 mark, which is the very top, all the way down to almost the bottom, and then there's this little nub down at the end. So I'm going to say, guys, based on my experience measuring this, trying this out, that if you buy this kit and you're confused by these instructions, whether this stud needs to be bottomed out in the hole and then it's obviously too short to engage the nut, or if you back it out of the hole somewhat so that there is a flush top with your nut and stud, that you're still engaging more than enough threads to make this kit work. Perhaps this just needs clarification, I'm not sure, but I figured I would put what I figured out on the YouTube so that you guys can take a look at this if you're stuck on this in your garage. All right, I'll leave the decision to you, whether you go with the other kit and do machining the traditional way, or you can go with this B kit and get away without the machining against the information that I've given you here. All right, anyways, hit the like button. I'm going to start saying that now because apparently it's good for my videos. Subscribe for more stuff. We're going to do some more videos on the road to 450 horsepower. We're almost there, guys. We're just going to put this back on, put the front of the truck back together. Then we're going to do a little pump tuning, and once we have that done, we might even go hit a dyno and try and get a number out of this thing. All right, thanks for watching.